There we are. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. This is Linda Downey. If you come across this randomly, my name is Linda Downey, and this is a live. This is streaming. I was going to say filming, streaming in multiple places. So please say hello. Let me know where you're watching this from, and the replay later on. If you catch the replay, I would still love to say hello to you and also hear your thoughts. So this is streaming, as I said, in multiple places. If I don't see your comment in the moment while we're talking, I can't see all of the places where this is. So I'll have to go back and check. Okay. But again, my name is Linda Downey. I'm a functional health practitioner, a transformational health and spiritual coach, and I work really with women to overcome their past, create a future that they love to live in, everything like that. And so triggers can be a big part of that. So today's conversation, and also this is an episode of my podcast, The Unconditioned Life. So I'll put details about where you can see that as well, but this will be an episode there. The Unconditioned Life is about not living in the conditioning that got thrust upon you, living unconditioned as your own truth. Okay. So today's conversation, and we got started a few minutes late, and it's because my tech wasn't working. And I thought this is the perfect thing, because in the past I would have really been triggered by that. And it was kind of fun for me to be like, okay, got it, figuring it out. I'm not triggered. I'm going to just keep doing what I know to do. But there was a time in the past when just getting on for a live, knowing it was scheduled, knowing people had said they would come, and now I'm having trouble, would have triggered me. So triggers can be really anything. They can be events that happen where all of a sudden you notice you have a response. So let's just kind of define that a little bit. There are events, experiences, could be people, where you notice you have like an automatic response, like right away. And oftentimes, hi, Ellie, is it Elia? Thank you for saying hello. Oftentimes, the response could be frustration, anger, annoyance. Sometimes the response is withdrawal. I just need to go be by myself. I can't even take her anymore. I just need to go regroup somewhere. So it can be an array of responses, and it can be an array of events that trigger those responses. Anybody who is interested in growing, if you're interested in growing, and if you've been around me for a while, you may know that I say grow and heal as interchangeably. In order to grow, we have to heal what there is from the past. When we heal, we automatically grow. So whatever word you're comfortable with, but people who are interested in growing from their past into a different present and future, healing from their past. Triggers are actually opportunities. So I want to create that context for you first before we dive in, as looking at triggers as opportunities rather than problems. Because, hey Trish, hello. Because when we see the trigger as the problem, so-and-so triggers me. There's such a problem in my life. You know, my mother-in-law, my sister, my spouse, my kids, my boss at work, they trigger me. And when we see it in that context as they are the problem, what we're always doing is trying to manipulate our way around the problem, right? We're trying to get out in front of the thing that they do that triggers us. We're trying to leave before they have a chance to trigger us. And we're always in a trying to control reaction mode. So if we get triggered, boom, we're in the reaction, right? I say right a lot. If that resonates with you, you know, that's how I see triggers. And when we switch the context and we say, how are triggers an opportunity? Well, it's something in me that's getting triggered. It's not the person, the thing that they said, the event. So it's not the guy who just cut me off on the road. It's not the email. It's not my boss demanding something else from me. It's not any of those, the way someone speaks to you. What it is something in me that's reacting to that. And I have an opportunity now to see, where did that reaction come from? And when you just start there, just start with that, you can start to get your arms around the reaction and learn how to respond from a place that's not triggered. So triggers are very much really interchangeable with a wound, right? A trigger is something in us that's still a problem. You might have another person sitting right next to you who has zero response to the thing that happens, and you're triggered, right? Why is that? Why is my response or my reaction one way and that person's is another? Because we see it in two different ways. We see the event, we hear what the person said through two different lenses, through our own individual lenses. And our lenses hold whatever things from our past that are still causing a problem, that are still a wound. So if you think of a wound, there's a couple of characteristics that wounds have. They are sore to the touch, depending on how bad the wound was. Was it like a little hangnail, or was it an all-out cut, a bone break, something big? When you touch it, it's still very sore. We have old wounds in our body from a car accident or a sports injury, and certain ways that you walk or the weather will trigger the pain, right? Weather triggers the physical pain of that wound. So it's the same thing for the wounds that we hold really in our subconscious, in our spiritual body. I see our subconscious and our spiritual body as very much intertwined, very much, not something we're consciously present to all the time, but always there, always giving us information, always looking to guide us. So a trigger / wound is an opportunity to guide us towards, where's the next step I would like to go in my growth. So think about like a little kid, if they have a splinter and you take the tweezers and you're like, okay, honey, I'm just going to get that. And you barely touch it. And they're like, no, 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 no. And you're like, I didn't even touch it yet. Right? Because it's super sore for them. It's super sore. And if they don't let you touch it, it stays really sore. So every time they walk on their toe or touch something with their hand, they're like, ow, 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 it hurts. And you're like, just let me get it out so that it can heal. But with the things still in there, it doesn't heal. The response, I'm not going to say response, the reaction, because a response is a conscious choice of how to respond. A reaction is an automatic, I couldn't even control myself. It's much more unconscious, right? So I'm going to say reaction. The unconscious reactions that we have to how sore, how raw that wound feels depends on how deep it was when we first experienced it and how much we have done to address it and to help it to heal. So let me give you some examples of those kinds of wounds. It might be, let's say, here's a perfect example. Yesterday, and some of you may have seen this, yesterday I was in a conversation back and forth online through social media with someone. And if you saw my post, I had put down yesterday, give me 3 words that you would say to your 20-year-old self. And when I put something out there, I like to go back and try to respond to every person who takes a moment to say something, or at least hit like or give them a thumbs up. Or if I see something that I think, you know what, I want to just shift how they're seeing that a little bit, I might put a comment or ask them a question. So I asked this person a question on her comment and on her response to the post. And what she said to me is, if my responses don't meet your don't fill your expectations, I'm wrong. And I was like, no, I'm just asking you. I really just wanted to prompt her. Number one, Facebook tells me, make sure you keep connecting with people. So I listen, and I want to connect with people who put a response down, but also I wanted to try to make a difference. So I was like, no, I'm just asking a question. And she came back again with, who do I think I am? I think I'm right. Her response isn't good enough. All of these things. So, and it's difficult when you're texting because you can't really hear the tone of voice. You can't see someone, but we're going back and forth. And I probably let it go longer than I needed to because we were not making any headway. But she was very triggered by my questioning, like, hey, why did you put that? Like, oh, it doesn't meet your expectations. Oh, and then it was into, I was bullying her and I was very egotistical. And I like 3 times just said, listen, I just asked a question. I'm going to wish you a good day. And then she'd come back, how am I supposed to have a good day when you bullied me? So the question was a pretty small thing. But for her, and I don't know this person and I don't know anything about her background, but what you can see from that response is being questioned is a trigger for her somewhere. And that's what happens. We're holding it in our subconscious, we're holding it in our spiritual body, the wound. Somewhere there's a wound that has not been healed of, either feeling shame for she said or asked something and somebody made her be wrong. Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you ask that? Or why would you say that? Or maybe she was never allowed to express her opinion. Like growing up, children are seen and not heard. Don't tell me how you feel. I don't know what it was, but something in there was there, raw and sore and waiting for the moment for someone to do or say anything similar enough that the reaction came up. You get what I'm saying? So we all have them because we have all had experiences that either caused little hangnails or all out, or paper cuts or big, big wounds. And how much we've been willing to see them and heal from them or grow from them will depend on how much we have triggers now. So your triggers are an opportunity. And here's what you want to do. You want to notice right away, as quickly as you can. This is what being conscious is, right? Being in charge of how you think and feel. That's being conscious. So notice right away, wow, what did I just feel? I just got really annoyed. Or how did my body feel? Sometimes like, oh, my stomach just got tight. What is that? What does that mean when I feel that way? Oh, it means I feel like ashamed. I feel like somebody just put me down. I feel like they disrespected me. Or maybe I feel it here. Oh, where do I feel it? Oh, I feel it right here in my chest. Like, what does that mean to me? That means I'm afraid. Whatever. Everybody's different, right? So you notice where you feel it in your body. Then you say to yourself, wow, why am I feeling that way? What did I just say to myself? Or what did I make it mean when so-and-so asked me a question? Maybe you have a sister, a mother-in-law, your husband who talks over you and it's a trigger. You're like automatically, grr. And the next time they do that, go, wow, I'm in that grr place again. What did I just say to myself? Because it's not really about them talking over you. It's about you feeling disrespected, you feeling not listened to. Yeah, Trish says awareness, acceptance, action. So it's not like when someone talks over you, you don't have the opportunity to respond. You can respond without being triggered. You can respond rather than react. So you can say, hold on, I feel like you just interrupted me and I want to get this out. But you don't have any reaction in your body. You don't walk away annoyed at them. It doesn't escalate like this thing yesterday between this person and me. just really escalated. I could not reel it in for her to actually, and maybe later she would, I don't know, or did. But think about in your personal relationships, the common triggers of either specific people or specific actions, how quickly it can escalate. So the trigger is an opportunity to say, I still have a wound and it's still pretty sore because I'm really reacting pretty strongly. And also think about, like on a gun, the trigger, I guess this would be the trigger, even though the gun's like this, right? So the trigger on the gun, it's a small little thing. It's not a big, giant like gong you have to pull. The trigger's small. What makes the explosion is the gunpowder, the fuel. In the case of a gun, I guess the gunpowder, the bullet, however guns work, I don't know. But the fuel is the thing that makes the explosion. The trigger is probably the smallest part. The fuel sitting there waiting to explode is the wound in you that is not yet healed. So I had this conversation with a client not that long ago. Triggers are 100%. I just want you to let this sit in. 100% all the time about you. They are never 0% of the time person or the thing. If you can wrap your brain around that, because I know it doesn't feel that way a lot of the time, it really feels like the other person is the problem. The other thing is the problem. But if you can just go, all right, for the sake of growth, I'm a person interested in growing. I'm a person interested in breaking patterns from the past. I am going to chew on that. I'm going to accept it and I'm going to sit in it. Sorry, hold on. I'm going to sit in that and make sure that I understand exactly what's going on. I just lost my train of thought from the dog barking. Okay. Anyway, so how we heal all of that, what we do to look at wounds, it's a multi-pronged process. It's not just that. What we just did was open the door for you to start to see it in a different way, to understand it from that context, to decide if you're even interested. Because here's the truth. A lot of people are very happy staying exactly where they are, making the other people wrong, having it be a blame thing, saying, no, I got to take myself in the other room. I can't deal with this. And just living life that way. And that's totally fine. So if that's you, you're probably not going to move, much further past this conversation and chewing on it a little bit. But if you are someone, there's several pieces to that. And it's uncovering what's the original trigger. It's uncovering, how do I think? What are the ways that I think that are still being fired, right? That I have not yet rewired. What's going on in my body? So my physical body and my nervous system. All of those pieces are pieces of you. They all need to be addressed if you're interested in growing. If you want to speak to me more about that, definitely leave a comment. That's the work that I do with my clients. I'd be happy to speak with you more about that. It's part. Dogs are going to start barking. So I'm going to wish you a great rest of your day. And I'm going to look for your comments if you want to have any more information about that. Okay? All right. Thanks so much. I'm sure I'll see you throughout the week over a cup of coffee. Take care.